Show me your willy!
What'd you get here?
Hello and welcome to Things All Kinds Podcast, episode 221. We're recording this on Friday, June 20th. You'll hear this on Monday, June 23rd. First day of my new job.
I'm gonna need you to stay in. I need you to come in work tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask you to come into work tomorrow.
You are not allowed to reference that movie because you have not seen it. Okay, I'm a film nerd. You are not allowed to do that. I really want. We got to do. I mean, we got to do. We have so many movie nights.
We have like
to do.
we gotta have like a Five Nights at Freddy's.
We got to watch Five Nights at Freddy's. Are you doing anything tomorrow night?
No.
Can we watch Revenge of the Spit?
Yeah, I'm down.
Well, don't sound too excited. No, Gavin's got a little bit of a headache today, so we're gonna try and do everything we can to make it worse. So we're gonna be doing lots of screaming and yelling, and you name it, we're doing it. Guys, welcome to the show. Very exciting show because showers are back. This is the biggest news all week.
Carson, what have we got on the docket today?
Showers are back. Donald Trump is making showers great again, and we can't wait to talk about it. Plus,
that's me whenever I turn up the shower too hot.
Oh, yeah, especially now because that pressure is pumping, baby.
Honestly, if I saw that damn...
We're going to talk about this dog and Walmart meet. We have a Gavin's Techno World, the big return of Gavin's Techno World. A thought of the week from Gavin himself as well. And some clips. It's going to be a lot of clips this episode, which will be fun. We haven't done like a proper clip show. Let me adjust this little sucker.
It's only like the third clip show that you're part of, right?
It's only the third. Unfortunately, it's only the third clip show I'm a part of. I had too many clip shows. No, they're great. I love them all. It's just always funny. You know what? I can speak about myself here for a minute, as I like to.
You're going to.
I'm going to. So nobody asked. Nobody even brought this up. But when I I work on two predominantly clip shows. Even though I mean they are more than that, but they mostly involve clips. I was like, oh no. And then plus our show, which we do watch clips, but I wouldn't say we're a clip show per se. But I was like, oh man, I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna run out of clips. No, not even close.
Not even remotely close.
There's been a few where like we've watched the same clip, not my doing, which is fine because it's always something that's like in the news. So like obviously, other shows are gonna have to talk about it. So
right,
it does happen. But yeah, no, I mean there's never ending clips all over the place, and it's great. We love clips. Today we're going to talk a lot about clips. Now let's get to the important news, Gavin. You are in. I don't even know where the hell you are.
I'm in Minnebrah.
You're in Minnebrah now.
I'm in Minneapolis. I'm in a suburb called St. Louis Park. And yeah, so I'm going to be here for the next month or so. I'm in a furnished area. We went to like 5 or 6 different apartments I had on a list. Check those out. Graciously, my parents both drove up here with me.
Shout out.
And very, very much miss them. Very much appreciate them. And bearing with me during my lack of preparation, so to speak. But it was one of those, had to bear the brunt of it. And it's just the beginning of the end, I guess, for me, where it's, beginning of the end, I guess, of search, so I'm almost there, but, for the first month or so until I take my exams, going to be living at different furnished apartments. And yeah, so hopefully this is the place I'm going to stay for the first month or so. Could be 2 months. But met the person who is hosting me here, and very nice personable person, and she's wonderful. And, yeah, I mean, great. I have this little office space. I have my bedroom. I got my own bathroom, shared kitchen space, got like a living room, got a closed-in porch. It's going great,
folks.
Yeah, closed-in porch. I very much enjoy that. That's my morning routine. I like go sitting out there. Yeah, walked around the neighborhood. Driving around Minneapolis is really not that bad, actually. It's just a lot of stoplights, but it's not like Chicago bad, or like I don't like driving in Chicago suburbs, and this is not like the Chicago suburbs. Reminds me a lot of there's some Chicago parts, but it reminds me more of St. Louis than it does anything else. So
how far is Minneapolis from Chicago? Is it closer than St. Louis is?
I think it's actually around the same.
It probably is. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it. And how's that weather? I know you said it's a hot week. Ugh.
It's actually a 9-hour drive.
Jesus Christ. Okay, way further.
Yeah.
Wow, I was way off. Well, in my face.
Yeah, the weather's been it's going to get worse over the weekend. This weekend's going to get up to like 100.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, like 95, 100. And yeah, one of the person who was giving me my tour today, I mentioned how the winters have been more mild and the summers have been hotter. So I was like, that's also a good time for me to move up here because I'm used to St. Louis heat. So
that's true. That's that global warning. Well, we're happy that you're there. I'm excited for you to start your new job, and this new journey is very exciting. And
yeah, absolutely.
You're up to a great start, bud, and I'm proud. I'm proud of you. And then next thing you know, you'll be moving out of here. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's definitely on my list of things to do.
Well, it should be. God damn it. Other than that, how are you doing?
Yep, doing good. Doing good. Enjoying my time.
Good. Well, let's talk about it because I'm in a good mood because showers are back. I don't know if I mentioned that already. So Trump signs...
Showers are back in a really big way.
In a really big way. Maybe the biggest way we've seen in a long, long time. So Trump signs an order to make America's showers great again. Let's check this out. This is a weird place this clip is coming from. AFP News Agency. I don't even know what that is. Here, let's check this out. Have you seen this already?
No, I have not.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's check it out.
Yes, I like to take a nice shower to take care of my beautiful hair. I have to stand under the shower for 15 minutes till it gets wet. It comes out drip, drip, drip. It's ridiculous.
Through the Biden administration.
First of all, I've had some low pressure showers before. I don't mean to brag. I've never had to stand under the shower for 15 minutes.
That sounds like an extreme amount of time.
I got the thickest hair in the land. And Trump's got little
He's got my hair.
Little cotton fuzz. Oh, way thinner than your hair. And your hair's thin.
Exactly.
No, you're this guy's got cotton. This guy's got candy floss on his head. He went to the carnival.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, basically.
Launched what you've called a war on showers. They had.
Do you remember
huh?
Do you remember when the Biden administration launched that war on showers?
I do remember that.
I remember where I was when it happened.
Everybody remembers where they were whenever they declared a war on showers.
Everybody does. Where were you at?
Everybody.
Since everybody remembers.
Yeah,
why don't you go first?
Well, ironically enough, I had just taken a shower.
Whoa, no way.
And pulled down my pants to make sure that my underwear still fit.
And did they?
Yeah.
That's good. You pulled that. So you already had the underwear on, but you were just making sure.
Yeah, so I pulled them down, pulled back up, and I was like, and then I got this notification that was like, Biden is declaring a war on showers.
Oh,
like,
that's when it came in.
Yeah, and then it came up, and I was like, oh, that makes a lot more sense.
That's crazy. I was actually in a Walmart.
You fell to your knees?
Well, yeah, but that was because I had tripped over. Somebody put their baby stroller in the aisle, and I tripped over it and fell to my knees.
Those are hard to see.
And then I look
Famously
back
so.
up, and this person's like, their hair is just sopping, just suds in their hair. They're screaming. I was like, what's going on? They're like, Biden just started a war on showers. And I was like, so I saw the first affected by it. It was like 28 days later out there. Speaking of,
get to
we'll
that
talk
later.
about that in a bit. It was the first infected, and then it was mass hysteria. People were running out of there. People were trying to get to the hose, and the hose pressure was so low. It was crazy.
They were trying to get to the strip club as fast as possible.
They were trying because they could make it rain. They wanted to see how their water pressure was.
And they could get to the hose.
They could get to the hose, exactly. You should have headaches more often. You're on fire so far.
Thanks, man.
Hey man, anytime.
Certain regulations that basically killed the water pressure of showers and other water appliances.
You can say it. Go ahead. What are the appliances?
I mean, it's everything, sir.
Sinks and toilets.
Dishwashers.
Are sinks and toilets? I guess a toilet is a sink and a toilet an appliance.
I would think of an appliance more of like a laundry
Searching
unit,
this up right now.
and fridge,
Is a
oven.
toilet an appliance? Yes, a toilet can be considered an appliance. Okay.
Well, I don't.
I would not consider an appliance. Is a sink an appliance? While a sink is a plumbing fixture and often a central part of a kitchen or bathroom, it's generally not considered an appliance in the way that a refrigerator or oven is. What a shock. I like how he's like, he didn't want to say because I was like, oh, what is he like not wanting to say? And then he's just like talking about the appliances. Why would this guy? There we go.
Guys, we got him.
We got
We
him.
got him. He was wrong on the appliance.
We
part.
dunked on Trump. We dunked on Trump. Someone playing pool over there? Oh, slow clap. Sounded like someone was hitting a pool cue. He's got all of the claps over here. All right, so he didn't want to say, and he's got the Gulf of America thing still up. Did you notice that? It's pretty small.
Yeah.
He's still got the Gulf of America poster up from like months ago.
I was gonna say he walks into his office and he's like, "That looks so good."
We're just gonna leave it up. Let's put those double tapered flag poles up in the lawn too, please. Did you hear about the flags? Putting
I did.
flags up.
They're 88 feet tall.
They're tapered. Double taper shit, just like George Brett. You know about that George Brett thing? Talking about taking a double taper shit. He shit his pants.
George Brett, like the third baseman for the Kansas City
Yeah,
Royals.
he shit his pants. We'll watch it later.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
It's a double thread thing. Double taper. Here we go.
Toilet sinks, we're effectively going to be reversing that set of regulations to ensure that Americans have choice in the consumer market. If they want a low-flow shower head, they can buy one. If they want a real-deal shower head, they should have the ability to get one.
Nobody wants a low shower head. Nobody
I'm glad that we're thinking of the really important things in the White House. These are the things that have been affecting us for a very long time.
Oh, and I apologize. The Gulf of America thing was still up because this is from April 10th. I didn't realize this was that long ago. This is new news to me. And to you.
Well,
You don't even know about it.
Yeah, exactly. And you can really tell it's made such an impact on our showers.
Yeah, I mean, our showers are so much better. And I mean, just look at this hair. Look at Gavin's hair. He's got that wave. He's got that Clark Kent thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Getting me bricked up over here. Are you going to see are you excited for the new Superman?
I actually am. Pretty excited for it.
I weirdly am a little excited for it.
They have a really cool, like practical set for the Daily Bugle.
What's the Daily
Daily
Bugle?
Planet. Daily Planet.
That's where he works.
Yeah, Daily Planet. They have a practical set for it, and
That's cool.
they've been doing promotional videos on TikTok using it. It's really cool.
That's pretty cool. I wanted to fact check this because I just heard this today, and you probably already know it, but I heard that on July 4th at the St. Louis riverfront, where neither of us will be, they're gonna do a Superman drone show, and James Gunn is gonna be there.
Oh, I did not know that.
Because
God
he's
damn it.
from St. Louis, I think.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
Okay,
he
yeah,
is.
you knew that.
Yeah, he is from
Yeah.
St. Louis. He he may be from around St. Louis, but he's proud to be a St. Louisan.
Love that.
He posted like a St. Louis Superman promo
Yeah,
picture.
that was for this. So it's titled "Look Up." This show celebrates the long-awaited release of DC's studio Superman, directed by Gunn. The show is scheduled for the night of July 4th, prior to the traditional fireworks, and exactly a week ahead of the movie's nationwide release. So that is true.
That's strange because you remember whenever there was those lights above St. Louis, and I was
Yes.
able to videotape that. What if that was a test run?
It could have been. There
Two and a half years
Yeah,
before it
dude.
was supposed to happen.
like during maybe pre-production of the movie.
Yeah, maybe even just
We
getting
should
it
test out
greenlit.
those drones. We should get those drones ready now.
We should get those drones to make a big Emo's pizza box.
Can we get those to make an Emos pizza box for Mr. Gunn? Please.
Please.
What if Clark Kent sits down at the Daily Planet where he works, and lunch hour goes to his fridge, Emo's pizza box. And
Honestly,
the theater goes nuts. Everywhere across the
Honestly,
nation.
would not be surprised if they do something like that.
That'd be pretty cool. I think whenever I become a famous director, because I will. I'm like Trump.
Everyone
does. Everyone knows I'm going to be a big famous director one day. I'm finally gonna accept my heritage of being from St. Louis, even though I'm not technically from St. Louis. And I'm gonna start like slipping in little St. Louis Easter eggs and
Yeah,
stuff.
Red Hot Riplets.
Yeah,
some
dude, that's the way to go. That's the way to go.
Emos, boxes.
Emos, Budweiser. Oh wait, everybody has that. Bud Select. They could be drinking Bud Select.
Yeah, Bud Select. Yeah.
Ain't nobody know about that Bud Select.
It's brewed for the Lou.
Brewed for the Lou only, and it's good. It's fine. It's like
It's the perfect beer.
better than
I
Bud
miss it.
Light. Let's talk about this dog in meat. I almost sent this to you guys, and then I was like, let me save it, because when you hear dog and meat, Gavin, what is your brain immediately going to? Well, obviously dogs.
Thinking of a wolf
Okay.
diving into a big old body of a horse.
Well, you're supposed to say, it sounds like you're saying they got dog meat mixed up in regular meat at Walmart. That's what you're supposed to say. Can you say that? What is it? What do you
It
think?
sounds like they. It sounds like they put dog meat in the Taco Bell tacos.
It's crazy that you say that, because you're actually wrong, Gavin.
What?
Let's just watch this, and I'm not even gonna give you any prep on it, because I just want you to watch this. I saw this. This was fed to me in my algo. Just watch very closely.
I don't know how the dog not coming. Really? He looking at me and I'm looking at him.
You see it? There's a dog in the meat.
Play it one more time.
I guess it's like a picture. This is like I didn't pause it. Unless it's like freaking out.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see
Yeah.
what you mean now.
He's hiding in there.
Someone said, "Man, I'm high as hell. I saw a creature before me. I saw a dog. This shit scared the fuck out of me."
That's what happened to me, because you know me, I only watch reels on mute. And so I'm just like, what is happening? And then it was like a jump scare, and I saw it. So this person said, I will not be shopping at Walmart again. A damn dog in the meat. She puts the address, 138 North Henry Boulevard, Stockbridge, Georgia, in case anybody
know.
wants to go see if the dog's there. Because she posted this. This isn't really anything, so we'll watch it on mute. Update, they tried to get the dog out, but the dog was growling and not having it. So for some reason, they're trying to like scare it out, I guess. I don't know why you wouldn't just, maybe call
What the dog doing?
animal control or something, instead of trying to get a stray dog out of presumably a stray dog. I don't know where the dog came from. Maybe it was somebody's dog. A little farfel. Little farfel went for the meat. The son of a dog. What do you say we do a little Gavin's Techno World?
we've got it, man. I've got the intro right here.
He's got it. Hit it.
Gavin's Techno World. Gavin's Techno World. This is Gavin's Techno.
I feel like it gets shorter every time.
It's just Gavin's Techno.
How do they let this happen? I might be lagging really bad because Forbes doesn't let me proceed without having ad blocker turned off. But this is real. 16
Here, I'll pull it up for you.
billion.
Billion. Billions?
Facebook, Google, and other passwords were leaked. Act now. If you thought that my May 23rd report confirming a leak of login data totaling an astonishing 184 million compromised credentials was frightening, I hope you are sitting down now. Researchers have just confirmed that what could be the largest leak ever with an almost incredulous 16 billion login credentials, including passwords, exposed. As part of an ongoing investigation that started at the beginning of the year, the researchers have postulated that the massive password leak is the work of multiple info stealers. Here's what you need to know and do. It's from Forbes. Is this the biggest yet when it comes to passwords leaking? Well, I mean, I would say it probably is. Compromise is no joke. It leads to an account compromise that leads to, the compromise of most everything you hold dear in this technological-centric world we live in. That's why Google is telling billions of users to replace their passwords with much more secure passkeys. Microsoft is also doing away with passwords. They're making it so that you have to sign in with a Face ID or a fingerprint scan. Instead, I already have that set up for Google, I'm pretty sure. It just requires you to have your MacBook or your phone nearby. But according to Vilius Petkauskis at Cyber News, who says researchers have been investigating the leakage since the start of the year. I wish that there was a different way to say that it was a password leak or leakage. I feel like there's a lot better ways to say that. It's just this whole leakage thing is getting me having to go to the bathroom here.
Oh, I hear you.
30 exposed data sets containing from tens of millions to over 3.5 billion records each have been discovered. In total, Petkauskis has confirmed the number of compromised passwords has now hit 16 billion. Let that sink in for a bit. These collections of login credentials, these databases stuffed full of compromised passwords, compromise what is thought to be the largest such leak in history. They go in and talk about it, but it was just a really big leak, and you should go change your passwords. And they suggest using different passwords for every single website, which sucks. But that's
annoying.
what you have to do in this age, unless you're really not worried about someone taking it over. But I would be, just because you don't know what they could do with your name and likeness on that page. They could say some crazy shit and get you fired if you're not aware of it.
When I told you, I didn't say this publicly, but I will now. But I wondered if this is maybe part of what happened to me, because about a month ago now, in the same week, I got notifications saying that there was an attempt to change a password on I think it was on my Twitter and Instagram. And I was like, oh, cool, perfect. I was like, good, glad that's happening now. It's been fine since, but I was like, great.
I remember this is the most famous password thing that happened to me. We went to a Marriott hotel in Peoria for a family funeral, and rest in peace, Uncle Don.
Right,
and we were there for 3 or 4 days, I think. And day 2, I logged into my Twitter using the Wi-Fi there, and I woke up and literally watched the emails come in saying that your email has changed on your Twitter. You're they're two-factor authentication has changed, and I was trying to log in, and so I think it's business something 32 still has my account, and you can still see pictures that I posted, not of me, but just pictures that I have and had during that time. This was 10 years ago almost at this point.
So that was your old account?
Yep.
Whoa, I did not know.
Yeah,
I don't think
it
I
was
knew
really
that.
freaky, and I was so pissed, man. Like I think I had a lot of followers, and and they deleted some of my recent tweets that I had at that point, but then they like kept up some really old ones, and I was like, just delete them all, man.
And what did they do anything with it? Did they start like putting it out?
No, they didn't they put out like maybe like 4 or 5 links, I think, but
Okay.
they changed the name and everything to
Sure.
like they changed my @ and everything, so it was crazy. I was like, all right, sure,
Yeah.
you have it. And it was like some guy in Detroit. So
Oh,
that's
what the
also
fuck?
why I'm always weary to use public Wi-Fi and also public, or I guess hotel Wi-Fi too.
Well, now I am too. God damn it.
So this is also just another quote I saw at the end of this article here. It says, "Desired Effect CEO Evan Dornbush, a former NSA cybersecurity expert, said that it doesn't matter how long or complex your password is. When an attacker compromises the database that stores it, they have it, which is why password hygiene and management is so essential. This is also why it's so critical not to use the same password at multiple sites. If an attacker steals a password from one database and the individual has reused it elsewhere, then the attacker can gain access to those accounts as well." So
Yeah, it's
something you've heard a million times over. I mean,
right. And
being on the internet.
password hygiene that's a funny way to say it. There's a site that I use pretty regularly that like every 2 to 3 months it'll log you out and say your password is overdue, you need to change it. And like you have to change the password. Like
Yeah.
they make you change it, which is very annoying, but in practice it's a good thing, but it
Most
pisses me off every time. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to have to do this again.
I feel like most websites should do that at some point to be like, hey, your password like is probably
Yeah.
compromised. Like you should do this.
Especially
our
if it's
work-
compromised too. Like,
Absolutely.
why are
Yeah.
we not getting emails from Instagram and Facebook and Twitter being like, hey, we had a huge fucking data breach. Like,
Yeah,
change your
because then
shit.
They could be liable for it.
That's true. But like, but like hospitals and shit will send you letters being like, we had a data breach. Your data may have been compromised as a
Yeah.
part of it.
That's because it's a law. There's no law. That's the
of
HIPAA
course.
law.
No laws on the internet. The Wild West
The
still somehow.
I think it's like Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. But like I said, our hospital makes us change, any hospital makes you change your password like every 8 weeks or something like that.
Good.
So it's a real pain in the butt, but it is really nice to
Yeah.
know that those aren't being changed. Or I guess no one's getting into my account where they can go into other people's charts and everything like that, because most hospital systems are able to keep track of who goes into what chart.
That makes sense. I also wonder, I've always been like, should I be like allowing the browsers I use to like save my passwords, or is that a bad thing? I don't know. I always wonder that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
always
know.
like,
Yeah.
I'll change my password and do whatever, but like, I don't know. They're still going to get into it if they want to. I don't know. I'm always just like, I don't know. They'll get into it, I guess.
Yeah, because
Like, it would
it's
suck,
really
but
just make
whatever.
sure like your Google password is secure, because then if they have your Microsoft, whatever you use as like your password manager, make sure that like that password is like pretty secure, because that means that if they log into like your Apple or whatever,
Right.
or your Google, then they can automatically have all those passwords.
You got everything.
So
I'll
my
just give it
advice.
to you. If you want my password, just ask for it. I'll give it to you.
Gavin's Techno World. Gavin's Techno World. Gavin's Techno World. This is Gavin's Techno World.
Thought of the week, Gavin. We need a thought of the week song. Since Look What I Found hasn't come back in a while, we should do a thought of the week song. But you had a thought of the week, and I want to hear it from you.
So this was something that came to me. If you recall, last week I was sick and we had to push back the episode, but I was sick. And during that time, I watched a lot of Funhouse videos to fall asleep, and I fall
course.
asleep to Funhouse, like archival footage, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm not kidding. That's literally all I did last week. And this week wasn't much better, but it was a lot more fun. And I wasn't as sick. But so one thing this was a phenomenon that came to me like really early in the morning. I don't know if you saw the edit history on this, but I think I did this at like 4 or 5 in the morning because I couldn't sleep one night. But basically, does every reference nowadays in any social media clip or any video ever need a video clip of that said reference? If so, for example, Funhouse was saying he sounds like Tommy Pickles walking around. But and this was like probably like a 10-year-old video at this point, 8-year-old video. They did not show a clip. Okay. However, if that same video was made and put out on social media today, they would have probably shown a clip of Tommy Pickles walking as a reference. Yeah. And I think that's just also showing like the TikTok mind and the TikTok, content creation. But it sucks because there's so many, like it's a lot funnier whenever you let that reference breathe and let people understand that joke. And a lot of Gen Z humor is referential. So I was just thinking like, do you think that every reference that anybody ever makes or posts on, anything? Because I feel like that's like some really hyper TikTok stuff. Not every content creator does this, but that's like some really like if you really want to keep your audience have really good audience retention, you have to use a clip of the reference that you made. So if I'm like, oh, we're talking about Superman, and we put out a clip of us talking about Superman, it's either a clip of the Superman poster or promotional video, and I think about that as like especially if it's a joke and there's something like that happens on social media, I'm always, and they show a picture, they show a clip, I'm always like kind of wanted to hear the whole like sentence without having a clip in the middle of it. So.
Oh yeah, when it cuts out of the clip to show something else, I don't like that. Like if it's them talking, if it's someone talking and then like a clip shows up, but it's still their dialogue under it, I don't mind that. But I mean, you really struck a nerve here, because this is something I think about all the time when editing. Is I'm like, what is this reference they're making, and is this reference understood by all that I don't need to show? I don't need a visual representation of what it is.
Right.
But like my kind of thing is like, if it's pretty well known, I won't show it. And a lot, like, I think a lot of that has to do with just like when the thing came out. Like, I guess Rugrats wasn't like 10 years ago, Rugrats was not more
prevalent.
Yeah. Not much more prevalent than it is now. But like, I think for a lot of stuff like that, like when people are talking about older, making a reference to something older, I think showing what they're talking about makes sense, because it's like, I don't know what they're talking about. And that happens a lot. Like, to make it about myself, the show Double Threat that I produce, they're making references all the time, and it's hard for me to keep up with them because they have so many references, and half the time I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about, but I know it's funny. I just I couldn't tell you what they're referencing. Right. And it's fun to learn that. And that's what I'm just doing, is like, anytime they make a reference, I'm like, what is it? What is this? What are they talking about?
Exactly.
Because, I want to keep up and make sure I'm not missing something, but it's just, it's generational. We're different generations there. Like, when I hear like you and I, or like our people in our generation make a reference to something, most of the time I'll get it, unless it's a reference to a TikTok. And then I'm like, what are you're like this, you guys will like do a TikTok audio. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. And then you're like, yeah, it's a TikTok audio. And I'm like, oh, okay.
This actually just reminded me, last night I went to Target to pick up a couple, literally 2 items. And I'm in Minnesota, so when in Rome, you gotta go to a Target.
Of course.
But there was this was one of those cringy social interactions that I was present for. So I was checking out the self-checkout, and someone said, someone made a reference to a TikTok clip, which is, do you feel bonita? Or like, are you feeling bonita?
I don't even know.
Or do you feel bonita now? I can't remember exactly what the clip is, but it's like, I think it's like, are you feeling bonita? And it's like, I feel bonita. And it's from Family Guy.
Oh,
And,
okay.
But the guy who said it out loud didn't know it was from Family Guy. He just said it was a TikTok clip.
Yeah.
And so there's the second guy in the conversation goes like, what's that from? And he's like, oh, it's a TikTok clip. And then he walks by me and he goes to the self-checkout and he's like, yeah, but like, what's that from? Like, what's the original? And he's like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. See,
And
you know, maybe references are dying. Maybe we're seeing the death of true references. I mean, it's still referencing, like you said, like I feel like I wanted to say that, like, I think referencing things has always been a thing in every generation. But now with the internet, I mean, it's a lot more. And with TikTok, it's even more. I mean, it's the same way with Vine, you know, people referencing Vines all the time. It's
absolutely
the same with TikTok. And it's just like, I can't stand that kind of humor I like reference humor, but TikTok reference humor makes me so mad.
Yeah, it's like a different level. Like I said, it was like a different level of cringe where it's like, oh, did you see that? You know what I mean? Like it's cool whenever you like have a reference that you are able to share with others without having that like cringy, like, oh, I don't know what that is from or anything like that. It's cool to be in the in crowd with that and like you're part of that. But that also requires you to be on like a very similar algorithm and everything like that. So,
and that's the thing is like why
not everybody's different with that.
Well,
too,
right.
So.
And what he's referencing is the audio. There's like could be a million clips with that audio. And he's like, did you see that? And it's like, see what? A video that had that audio in it? Sure, probably.
Yeah,
like that's what annoys me about it. It's like, what are you even referencing?
It's like it's not killing the reference, but it's like it's saturating the reference.
Yeah,
by
it's
having
like,
so many different videos.
It's like a meta reference. It's a reference of a reference, kind of.
Right, and I guess it sounded like this guy also was trying to allude that like that was also a reference to something else. So that's Family Guy is chock full of references.
Of course, that's
sure
what we were referencing. Like before Vine in elementary school, people would reference Family Guy, and I was like, I can't watch that though. My mom doesn't let me watch it.
Yeah, same. I didn't watch Step Brothers till COVID.
Oh wow, you took that long to watch it?
Yeah. I know. I take it back. The sophomore year of college, whenever I was an orientation leader,
was
that was the first time I watched it.
Did you enjoy
Probably would
it?
have been fucking hilarious whenever I was in middle school. Whenever everybody else was watching it.
It was.
But I totally understand it.
I
totally understand it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't get annoyed with seeing references in a clip, but also maybe that's because I'm, in it, so I get it.
you are the person.
I am the problem, according to Gavin, showing references.
No, but I mean, it's just especially if it's like in a long form video or like a series video on YouTube where it's not a short, it's not a TikTok, it's not a Reels.
Right.
Where like audience retention really isn't that big of a deal because it's like the audience is there. Who want to watch it. So whenever someone's like, hitting a whole bunch of, like these like,
and it's yep. Now I know what you're talking about.
And then they put in no joke. This is actually one of my least favorites. This clip is literally one of my least favorites. Like anytime they do like a meme like this, where it's like it's literally a whole nother video inside of a video.
I know,
like a meme.
Now I know what you're talking about. I really, nothing grinds my gears more than watching a YouTube video that constantly keeps cutting to other things.
Right. And
I don't watch content like that on purpose, but whenever it pops up, I'll watch it for like 3 seconds and I'm out. Like nothing makes me dip harder from a YouTube video than if you're constantly cutting to like memes. I cannot stand it. when I was on the subway in New York, there was a person watching TikToks or Reels or I think it was YouTube Shorts out loud, very loudly, and it was like that. It was like a video, and it was in a foreign language that they were watching, but it kept constantly cutting to memes, and I could hear it, and it was like fucking driving me nuts, even though I wasn't watching it.
That's what I was talking about. That's what I was
Yes,
getting at.
that-
But if that video was made today, there's like a probably 50-50 chance that they would have cut to a clip of Tommy Pickles walking.
Yeah.
During that. And that's not really what the Funhouse style was, but
No.
if you fast forwarded it, 10 years to now, then it's like maybe that would have been, or, who knows, maybe a Gen Z, late Gen Zer would have been an editor for them, and they would have found that would be really funny. And,
I don't even know if it's, I don't even know if it's Gen Z so much that's doing it, because mostly when I see that, it's people who think they're being funny and want to try and be edit something for comedic sake is when they do that. They think they're being like fucking hilarious. And I find it to be millennials a lot that are doing that.
You're right. You're right. And I think I've seen the libraries online of like these meme clips.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I've seen them.
That's where they're pulling it from.
There's a huge meme library.
Yeah.
That you can look up any sound or anything on, and I always forget the name of it, but it's
good.
It's there, and a lot of people use it and it's always the same clips, the same sounds,
quality.
the same quality.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's
because they don't know how to edit, and they're not
for
funny.
the actual clip.
Yeah, and so they're just trying to be funny because they're not actually a funny person, and it sucks. It's just like just be yourself, and you'll find it. You don't have to cut in all this stuff.
So yeah, that's my thought of the week. I appreciate you indulging.
Of course, one more thing. That's why there's memes now that are like the meta reference memes, where it's like it starts out with a normal clip you've seen a million times, and then it's like constant cutting to other things, and then you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like the YouTube poop almost.
Yeah, it's like a YouTube poop on steroids. Like it's
brain
just
rot.
It's straight brain rot garbage, and those are fucking hilarious because it's making fun of.
They put like Temple Run, in the corner, or Subway Surfers.
My favorite is the one where it's like a clip you've seen 1,000 times, and then the editor will find like little beats in it to like cut to like a weird fucking drawing of the person where they're like maybe their mouth is really big and have like a sharp teeth.
Yeah, they like turn it into like a Wojak or something like that.
Yeah, nothing makes me fucking like cry laughing than one of those clips.
There's a whole bunch of those. I will say that I get a whole bunch of those in the middle of the night, and so I'll send them to Sean and stuff. But what I've learned is that if I watch those at those times, I will not be able to fall asleep.
Because you're scared.
It's like my brain gets so like not activated or anything like that, but it just turns into like, oh well, this is normal to be receiving this amount of information that quickly.
Your brain gets rotten.
Yeah,
it's rotted to the point where you're just you're sucked into the screen.
I'm stimulated.
You're stimming.
I'm rock hard.
Oh yeah, dude. I can't go to sleep unless I'm rock hard. Bricked up. Well, thank you for the thought of the week, Gavin. I wish we had a little theme song to play for that. Speaking of brain rot garbage, I think Sean sent this clip to us, and I love it, and I just want to share it with the audience.
These are some of my favorite clips. I'm not gonna lie. I love these clips where people are screaming their fucking.
Well, don't give it away.
Well, no. I mean, I don't know if this is what it is, but it looks like it because I think I have. I don't know, but I've seen people will. This is another brain rot where they will have the audio from these videos, and then they'll have like an Eminem slug screaming with these same screams over like an enchanted forest background, and they'll be like, ah,
yep,
ah.
Those are great. Maybe I'll maybe if I have time this weekend for our like Monday post, I'll do a brain rot clip of combining our clips this week. If I have time, hopefully I'll see if I have time to do it and put it out sometime. I think that'd be fun. I can come up with some real garbage. So if you're just listening at home, this man is getting a deep tissue massage.
Which
on
I
his
have heard
calf.
they are painful.
Yeah, this is also
Or,
like
it's like a relief.
yeah, this is also like the worst place to get a massage. It's so bright in there, and it's like this horribly hard-looking medical table. Like I've never gotten a massage.
Of despair and misery.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like it's a David Cronenberg like torture chamber. Like I've
It
never
sounds
gotten
like
a
it,
massage, but if I did, I would not want to be in a bright ass room with my pale ass hairy legs. This guy
That's
is
what my legs would look
so
like.
pale. I don't even know if you're that bad, man. This guy is.
I don't even think. I don't even think like I could scream that loud if someone was doing that to my leg. I would be laughing.
I don't know if I have never, in the times that I've been in excruciating pain, which has been often, I've sorry about that, Gavin. I just saw Gavin get visibly disgusted by what just happened.
It's good to hear.
I don't know if you knew this, broke my neck, and I did not scream. I don't think I've ever screamed in pain unless I was a child, or like the only time I've screamed in pain is when I'm like freaking out because I have no idea what's happening. But even when I broke my neck and I know what was happening, I didn't scream. I think I just said, "Oh fuck" a bunch.
Do you want to shoot each other with guns?
Yes.
And find out what that feels like.
I would.
Okay.
And let's see who screams. I bet you could shoot me with a gun to my head right now. I think if you shot me in a part that wouldn't kill me of my body, I don't think I would scream. Because there's that guy, he was a rapper, or is. I think he's still alive. I forgot what his name is. But there's a video of him, and you've probably seen it. And if you haven't,
Where he's like
don't watch it.
playing with his with a gun like near his thigh, right? And
Well,
like,
that's
he shoots
another
himself
one.
with it.
Yeah, there's that one that happens. But there's a guy, he's in a car, and he puts a pistol up to his open mouth like this and shoots like through his cheeks. Doesn't hit any teeth. He's in a car while it's moving, and he does it, and the guy goes, "Did you do it?" You can hear the driver.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I've seen
"What
that
the
clip.
fuck?" It's
and
this
the guy's
guy's
like-
crazy. Yeah, he's like, I'm like, "What do you think? What do you think happened? It fucking blew your cheek apart." And the guy was fine, but it's like, why would you? Why would you do that? But he didn't scream. He was just like, "Oh."
Yeah, I feel like that's how that's how I usually am wherever, especially after like stubbing my toe.
"Oh,
It's
yeah."
comparable to like getting gunshot. I just go fuck.
I've probably gotten louder. I've probably been more loud when I stubbed my toe than when I broke my neck. Like, I don't know why, but it's like that toe stub is not. I just did it the other day, and it was I just like walked into the kitchen and just put my face on my countertop and just like sat there.
Oh.
Because I was like, if I don't do this, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit.
Right.
Because it's that kind of anger where you're just like, I'm so fucking mad that just happened. I can't even believe it right now. And so, it makes me want to. It makes me want to get
Well,
it.
and that's also just like you said. It's like he should have been expecting something like this. Like he's going to a deep tissue.
Yeah.
Massage.
Massage. And it's probably, if I had to guess, it's probably a little hammed up. Probably not a real video. I mean, you never know. We can pretend.
There's a
it
handful of
is.
these videos.
There's a handful. That's true. Well, I mean, it's the same with the chiropractor videos where they're like fucking breaking people in half.
Yeah, I don't like those.
Snapping them. I don't either. I do not. I don't like. I think chiropractors. I think that's a bit of the pseudoscience, as we say.
I just imagine getting my neck cracked and then I'm tasting like cerebrospinal fluid in my neck.
Don't even.
You know.
Don't.
That's
I hated that you just said that, dude. I fucking.
because I'm
hate
pretty
that.
sure like Steve Kerr had that issue where he had like spinal fluid leaking from his from his spine from like a surgery. And I've seen people tell stories about like tasting it and stuff like that, and I just don't like that.
Why
So
did you
anyway,
have to
I
bring
don't.
that up? I've had too many spinal surgeries.
Let's go ahead and bring up the next clip.
Fuck, I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, I've had my.
I don't think you can
surgeries and
taste it. I think it's just like a phenomenon that like you're not actually tasting it, but it's just like it's a different feel. But it's gross because it's like a canal in your spine, you know.
Fuck you, dude.
Sorry, there's
I got canals
intrathecal
and
inject.
rods.
There's like intrathecal. Like whenever people have meningitis, they do a spinal tap where they go into your cerebral spinal fluid and sample it, and they measure the pressure of how quickly or like how hard it comes out. Because if it's infected, it has a higher pressure.
Yeah, they actually stick a little Capri Sun straw in it. And they go.
Yeah, they go.
It just makes a little pop noise. It doesn't hurt. I got dead people bones in my spine, Gavin.
Good to know.
Yeah. Speaking of tasting things.
Oh yeah, dude, this was awesome. This is awesome. This is
So I think I'm gonna make a YouTube poop of that guy screaming over top of this.
Jesus fuck, dude. Whenever I sent this clip, I was like, okay, surely it doesn't go on as long as it does. And it really does go on for a very long time. What's really funny is to... Anyway.
So if anybody's just listening at home and is thinking we're watching pornography...
We're not.
We're not. Not quite. We're watching a woman
spray
whipped cream up her nose, and she goes real deep with those fingers into her nose.
My favorite was skipping from the beginning to the end on our phone. Like on your phone, you can skip to the beginning and end of reels. And my favorite was skipping between the beginning of the video and the end of the video. But I love these comments. I love the comments because one of them says, "It's my fault for watching the video, watching the whole video. Brick by brick, I built this algorithm." I can't tell if this is legit fetish content or if she's getting high from the nitrous oxide. I feel it's more fetish content though.
No, it's definitely fetish. It's
fetish.
Not.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not.
That's it. I feel like just when I feel like I've seen it all.
I'm afraid to scroll too far.
Yeah,
I guess Instagram's not as bad, but you never know. So that video is great. I appreciate that.
That was one of my favorites. I was very happy I found that. I have to send that to you guys.
Well, maybe it's a little strange to some, but we I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say this. I'm thinking of it. How it's going to sound.
We've found some very
loud.
strange videos on our algorithm, and we've used it to make and spawn a whole genre of jokes.
And a lot of it may or may not be fetish content.
A lot of it, may or may not be.
And none of it is stuff we're into, but we've trained our
stuff
algorithm.
That is sincerely bizarre. I mean, literally fucking weird ass shit, dude.
And I don't want to kink shame, so I won't go any further than that. I won't describe some of the things we've seen.
No, I mean, I'll go ahead and kink shame a little bit.
I mean, there's kink shaming allowed for certain things.
I just don't know how some people get into this stuff.
I don't
want to know.
It's trauma.
But there's a very interesting. I might have to read a book about it, to be honest with you. I'll buy another fucking book.
I would like to as well. I was thinking about somebody was talking about fetish stuff on a podcast I was listening to, and they were like, yeah, some people can't get off unless they like smell poop or something like that. Yeah,
stuff like that.
And I was like, I don't think that means that they like the smell or they like poop. I think there's just like something. I think it's like a humiliation thing,
or like a link to a pleasurable time.
Yeah,
for them.
Like it's not that they actually like it. It's just like something about it harkens back to something that they.
Yeah, because I mean, I've always heard of the opposite. I mean, whenever I took psychology in college, there was like the taste aversion and like where you smell or taste something and it physically makes you like ill. Yeah, like because it's linked to such a horrible memory for you that you can't be anywhere near that.
was with it. That was eggs for me for a while because I puked up eggs once.
Yeah, exactly. And and a lot of people forget that the opposite. It's the opposite can also be true.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It's weird how the human body does that. And I've also seen things saying that, like it can be passed down through generations too. So it's like if your dad was into it, then your mom might have been it, and
Really?
your mom was maybe. I've seen stuff like that before too. Yeah.
I mean, I believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
And
my
they're like,
dad really. No, I was kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
But it
But like
does
I've seen stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've seen maybe some maybe not the strongest correlations, but some interesting articles and stuff like that. That's like maybe your parents were into some of this shit that you're into.
It does explain why I get bricked up when I eat cottage cheese, though.
Yeah, actually, on my like new hire like get to know you form, they were like, "What's the controversial opinion you find people don't agree with a lot?" And I said, this is all I wrote. I said, I absolutely love cottage cheese. Period.
Hell yeah. Nothing else.
Like it's so fucking good. I need to go get some.
I haven't had it in a while, and for some reason I'm thinking about it now, and it's making me feel sick, which is weird because I also love cottage cheese. But right now I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't know if I would like it the same way because it's been so long.
I have to remind myself to get cheese too, because that's like.
Hey
that's
Jamie,
something
can we remind him?
Yeah, just because like it's something that it's just I've always had cheese on hand, or I'm always eating cheese in some capacity.
I know
it's an addiction. It truly is an addiction for cheese.
Well, we're gonna get you some help, and I heard there's a good there's a good CA, Cheese Anonymous.
Yeah.
That
It'd be like Cheese Eaters Anonymous.
CEA Anonymous, CEA. You can go to that.
Perfect.
There's a good one near you. We already got y'all set up, so just you can go on down there whenever you're ready. And you can, tell them about your addiction to cheddar and Gouda and provolone.
There was this is also just going off on a really long tangent here, but
Please.
There was another article I saw that was pretty funny from the Star Tribune, which is Minneapolis' own.
Oh.
Talking about how I think it was like Hormel is suing Wisconsin's like sausage.
Oh, we got a sausage battle.
Yeah, there's Hormel sues Wisconsin's Johnsonville alleging stolen sausage.
What?
Stolen sausage secrets.
Put this in the fucking thing right now, because this is the fucking topic.
This is something I forgot about. I've totally forgot about it.
This is what we needed. This is perfect timing.
I'll put it down here. This is the sausage lawsuit.
Where did you put it at?
At the top.
Oh, here it is. Let me open it up.
A former Hormel Foods employee made off with top secret sausage recipes and market intel before joining regional competitor Johnsonville, a new federal lawsuit alleges. The Austin, Minnesota-based maker of breakfast sausage and more accused Johnsonville and two former Hormel employees of conspiring to unlawfully obtain Hormel's trade secrets for the suit. Hormel is asking for the return and deletion of confidential data as well as unspecified monetary damages. Quote, the sausage market is increasingly competitive and improper use of confidential, proprietary, and trade secret information or wrongful competition or solicitation could cause a manufacturer significant competitive economic disadvantage, the suit read. Johnsonville did not immediately respond to requests for comment Thursday. Hormel said it does not typically comment on pending litigation, but it did add, quote, we do believe that our complaint speaks for itself. Per the lawsuit, in June 2023, veteran Hormel employee Brett Sims joined Johnsonville as chief supply chain officer.
Oh, shit.
Sims allegedly started trying to poach other Hormel employees to join him at the Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin-based sausage company in an apparent violation of a non-solicitation agreement. One of the employees Sims reached out to was Jeremy Rummel, who joined Johnsonville this spring after 25 years with Hormel.
He played Hawkeye, Jeremy Rummel.
Yeah, I think so. What were you going to say, though?
I was just going to say, hey, guys, we going to need some... listen, Hormel's not all chalked up that they used to be, eh? We got to get you over here to Johnsonville. They got the best sausages ever. I stole the recipe. We're going to start making it here.
hey, we think that maybe we told you to sign a non-competitive agreement, and here you
Yeah.
go. You're gonna go work at Johnsonville, right across
Okay.
next door, and our next door neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, pal. Yeah, we'll make sure we'll see you in court, bud.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to get good litigation for that.
Before telling Hormel he was joining a competitor, Rummel allegedly sent, quote, product formulas, processing procedures, acquisition target information, and marketing strategy information to his personal email. Which, like,
Can't do that.
you can't do that. Like, I understand what he's doing. I think a lot of former students can attest that there's a lot of data that you have on your school computer before they wipe it. And you send it to yourself. But you can't do that if you're working at businesses, these very large businesses.
Especially in the food industry, you can't do that. It's like sharing the
Rummel,
Coke recipe.
It is. It sincerely is. Rummel was attempting to take Hormel's confidential business information and trade secrets to Johnsonville for the express purpose of exploiting the information for Johnsonville's benefit and to Hormel's detriment, the suit said. Hormel confronted Rummel, who confessed to sending the information to his personal email. Rummel then went to Sims's house, quote, with the intent to share the details of his interview with Hormel and develop a plan to protect his new role at Johnsonville. What the fuck? According to the lawsuit. Sims and Rummel did not immediately respond to an email Thursday, nor did an attorney named in the lawsuit who has worked with Rummel and Johnsonville. According to the filing, Johnsonville did not cooperate when Hormel sent a letter outlining Sims's and Rummel's violations of their agreements, detailing their unlawful behavior and asking for a number of assurances from Johnsonville. So that's the story.
This is
and that
straight up-
reminds me a lot of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Because
Of like the 1970s one where they have like a guy that's trying to steal Willy
Oh,
Wonka's
yeah,
secrets throughout the movie.
fucking Slugworth.
Yeah,
Slugworth's
Slugworth.
trying
Yeah.
to steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is straight up like sausage mafia shit.
It is.
You fucking
Yeah.
come over here.
Wait, let me get the fucking what the fuck are you doing with my
I'll
sausage
play-
recipe?
I'll play Hormel. I'll be Hormel. We told you not to take the fucking secrets away from your goddamn computer. And here you go, Mr. Sims. Going to work for a goddamn Johnsonville.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did send those emails to myself. I will admit to that. But I didn't do anything else, eh?
We have a lot more information that says otherwise, Mr. Sims.
Oh, okay. Like what
You better
else? I'll
pay up.
confess to whatever.
You better pay up or we're going to send some guys and you're going to be sleeping with the fucking fish. You're going to be sleeping with the pigs. It's funny because Minneapolis was actually the headquarters for a lot of mafia-related crimes,
True.
which is actually also one of the reasons why they got rid of their trolley system, as I've recently learned.
Oh.
They had a very
know that.
robust trolley system in Minneapolis, and they got rid of it because mafia members were using it to commit crimes.
I didn't know that they were as prevalent up there. Like I knew Chicago, obviously. Like Al Capone. I went to one of his hangouts with him.
Yeah, I think I sent it to Spencer. There's a minor league team over here. I think it's a AA team. It's not the St. Paul Saints. That had like an alternate ego where, minor league teams have like alternate ego, and they like were the gangsters or something like that. Was like
Oh, that's cool.
For one night only, they were called like the Mill City Gangsters or something.
Nice.
So
That's sick. That's sick.
But yeah, that's sorry, I totally forgot
No,
about that.
I'm
I saw
glad
it,
you
I saw
did.
it as like a shitpost tweet.
I'm glad you did do
So-
that. I'll save this last clip for another time. Because do you want to do the Star Wars trivia real quick, and then I'll jump into
Yeah,
my
we can do Star
little
Wars trivia real
Carson
quick.
Cinema Corner.
All right, we're going to question 1431. This is I think a New Hope era. Yeah.
Okay, I can get that. I think. Oh, I have more time than I thought. I thought my DoorDasher was on the
So
way.
into which category do Rhodians fall? And I'm going to give you a hint here. Rhodians are what Greedo is.
Greedo's the green guy.
Greedo's the green guy, and his race of alien is called the Rhodians. So do they fall
Okay.
into mammalian?
Is this racist?
No, it's not
Wars
racist.
racism.
No, it's not Star Wars racism. It's just, what do they fall into? Do they fall into
Lower
mammalian?
class, upper. Sorry.
I'm getting there.
Sorry.
Mammalian, reptilian, amphibian, or avian?
Read them one more time for me.
Mammalian, it's like you and I. Reptilian, like a lizard.
Mm-hmm.
Amphibian, like a frog.
Mm-hmm.
Or avian, like a bird.
I'm going to go reptilian.
Reptilian.
It was wrong.
You were correct.
Let's go. That's the first one I've gotten right.
First one.
We're not
1 of
keeping
3.
track of this, but you are. Okay, we got.
I am keeping track at the bottom of the document.
Oh, you are. Oh,
Yep.
I didn't even know. Oh, nice. I didn't even know. Oh, I finally got one, and I knew it too. It wasn't even a guess. I just knew it. I totally knew that. I'm up to speed on my Star Wars racial hierarchy.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where I think like over time we'll be able to like I'll have it bookmarked. You know what? Let me just put the Wikipedia in that little thing there so that we have that so we can pull pictures of what I'm asking.
Why did George Lucas have so much interest in races and categorizing that shit?
Same thing. Like Bethesda, the guys who made like Fallout and
World of Warcraft,
Skyrim,
did
they all with not World of Warcraft. That's
Blizzard.
That's Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
okay. I know video games.
Bethesda always, I mean, in every game that they have ever made, work in some kind of racist storyline or racist person. And now it's just very funny because like it's not real racism. It's just they just have this really good ability to be like how me and Sean always reference like smooth skin. You know, they call people who aren't ghouls smooth skin.
Yeah.
And like that's a racist storyline and thing that happens in those games all the time. I mean, it's even worse in Skyrim. Skyrim is like the most racist probably video game you could play. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, it's just strange because it's like playing on a little bit. I don't mean to be like the triggered whatever guy, but like
woke friend.
It is playing a little too like close to reality at times, and it's like I don't know.
But that
I don't know. I'm iffy on it.
Some people would say that also kind of further like validates their story. You know, it makes it feel a little bit more real. That like these races are all living together and stuff like that. But also, like, it's not all it's made up to be.
I guess just like the interest of like playing God and being like, this race is this and they're scum. It's like,
exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And people treat.
I would
them
say
like
George Lucas
shit.
played a little bit too close to real life on some of those.
Well,
as we learned.
like when they start having accents.
And they are particularly good at trading and money and stuff like that.
Yeah,
really
like,
playing to stereotypes.
It's like aliens don't have to sound like they're from
at all
China.
Yeah, at all.
That's like weird. Like, why did you do that? They're aliens. They can sound like whatever.
That's our Star Wars trivia for the week. Congratulations, Carson.
Thank you. We still got to figure out what I'll win or lose, or how many we have to get to. Maybe it's like to 21. We'll get to 21, and then something happens. We'll come up with that. Like it's best out of 21, and
right now you're shooting 300, 330.
That's true. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out a like a fantasy football style punishment if I don't get a certain amount right.
Brush up, brother.
I'm going to. We'll hopefully tomorrow night I'll get even more acclimated.
Yeah,
to
I can finally ask you a question about that.
Real quick, if you don't mind, I'll keep this curt. Last night, I saw the brand new 28 Years Later, which I will try my best not to spoil. Actually, I don't think I'll really spoil at all, which normally I would a bit, but we'll see. And in preparation for that, this past week, I watched for the first time 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later, which the 28 Days Later came out in 2002, I think, 2 or 3, and then 28 Days Later came out in 2007. I'd never seen any of them, and I've always wanted to see 28 Days Later because I didn't really ever hear too many people talk about it. Besides every like film Instagram I follow, and like we probably even talked about it in like film classes in college, would show the scene of Cillian Murphy walking across
in empty London,
Big Ben in the background, papers everywhere. It's like a scene you've never seen before and like will likely never see again. Like in reality, like it would be like CG or like stock footage stuff.
You mean during COVID?
Or during COVID too. And it's beautiful. And I'd always seen that and be like, I gotta watch that. And I always was like, every time I would see that it was on a streaming thing or think about it, I would be like, I just don't like zombie movies that much. It just got like, unfortunately, we grew up in the generation of it being so oversaturated.
Super saturated.
Like we grew up at the prime time for zombies, Walking Dead, all of this shit, Zombie Land. Like it was way too much. And I was just like, I just kind of wrote it off.
The Last of Us.
The Last of
video
Us,
game.
and now it's a fucking show, and it's just like
Call of Duty had zombies starting in 2008.
Yep, dude, that's the biggest one I think. So I just kind of wrote it off, and I was like, I don't know, I don't really want to watch a zombie movie. But with 28 years later, I was like, I gotta watch these before, and so I did. And God damn it, 28 Days Later might be one of the best movies I've ever seen. Not even joking, like. And it's so low budget, but like you don't even think about it because the actors they're driving it. They're doing such a phenomenal job. And Danny Boyle's use of most of the movie is shot on like essentially a camcorder of that time. Like it's literally what you see every like skate movie video ever. It's like shot on this style of camera. And it's like so shitty, and the quality is, God, what is the quality? It might be like 240 or something. It's like not 360. It's like the one below that.
Yeah, it'd be 240, yeah. Yeah,
and it's like, it looks like a documentary. And that's what he was going for. He's like, that was like the new low budget indie film style, was making movies look like they're documentaries. Obviously, Blair Witch Trials being the first one. That was like, that one like blew that style out of the water, making a narrative film on a camcorder.
And Cloverfield was after that, too.
Yeah, Cloverfield. Yeah. That was a big deal. And when I first started watching it, I was like, I wonder if I'm going to like this. And then like one of the first things you see is him walking around empty London, and it's like fucking mind blowing. And I was like, that's so cool. And then the movie just keeps getting better and better. And it just like, until the end, and it's like the ending is the most like beautiful scene you've ever seen in your life. And the way, I don't know, I just, it made me realize that, and this whole experience will lead me to realize that Danny Boyle might be one of my favorite directors of all time, because he does things that I've never seen directors do. Like his style, like whoever he uses to edit, his, and I'm sure it's all his touch, because all of his movies have these like same qualities, but it's so cool. And the movie's so British. It's like, I felt like I was watching an episode of Doctor Who at some points, because I was like, man, this feels like Doctor Who. Like this is so fucking British and like close up, and there's like barely any wide shots. It's all really close on people, and like, but I loved it. And then like,
Could you understand them?
Oh yeah. Okay. And I know Cillian Murphy's Irish. Apologize, but the movie takes a turn at a point where I was like, I didn't know that this happened. Like, I'll spoil this, but they like meet up with these like military guys who are still alive, and it turns like from a zombie movie into like them trying to get away from these military guys that have gone nuts, and they're like trying to sexually assault the two women who he's with, and one of them's like a teenager, and it's like, whoa, what? Like this movie gets like fucking crazy, like even more than I thought it could. And it's like, it's barely like, it is a zombie movie, but like barely. It doesn't do what every zombie movie does, where it's just fucking zombies 24/7 and you don't get any like story. It's so good.
that's the thing that like over time I feel like a lot of people said the same thing about Last of Us, where it was less about the zombie aspect and more about people.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's great. I'm sure I've heard great things about that show. And then what I've seen is mostly of Pedro and that girl. I don't know her name, but
The one who's always vilified by the right.
yes. But yeah. So beautiful, literally a 5 out of 5. Would it be one of my favorite movies personally? No, I just think it's one of the greatest movies of all time. Like it's just has that air to it and that quality that like goes above and beyond anything I've ever seen, like truly. And then I saw 28 Weeks Later, which was not directed by Danny Boyle, although the opening scene is, and that's honestly the best part of the movie. But it still feels like his style in a way. It's a little different, and it's not as perfect. Like it's like a 3.5 for me. And unfortunately, Jeremy Renner's in it, who I'm not a huge fan of. And it's not amazing. It's very good, and there's stuff in it that's great, but I don't really think there's much to talk about with it, in my opinion. I think there's good stuff and there's bad stuff, and it's a fun movie. It wasn't bad at all. And I think people really like it as well. And then 28 Years Later, which I saw yesterday, is also fucking amazing. It's Danny Boyle back directing it. Alex Garland, who wrote the original one, wrote this as well. Wrote Civil War, done a lot of shit. And it's fucking amazing. It did things I've never seen in movies, and it's like edited really artsy, if I say. Mm-hmm. And it's like cutting around to things while other things. It's just like this beautiful movie that is also really funny. Like Ray Fiennes' character is funny, and it's scary, and then like it's just bonkers. And then the ending is like the weirdest thing you've ever seen. But like towards the end, there's something that happened where I more or less cried. Like I've never been that close to crying in a movie theater ever. And like what stopped me from not crying, like if I would have blinked, I would have been like, okay, I'm crying now, because I was like welling up, and I was like, it was like when you're trying not to cry so hard that it's like hurting, and your neck muscles are tensing up so much. And I was like, I should just cry. But I was like, I know if I start, it's like going to be a problem. And then I'm going to like when I cry, I look like I've just fucking been through war. Yeah. And so I was like, I can't do it. Like I'm by myself. It's this packed theater. It's too weird if I do that. But it's so fucking beautiful and weird. And it's just like, it made me, after the movie, I was like, damn, is this better than Sinners? Like Sinners is my favorite movie this year. I'm like, is it? And I've come to the conclusion it's not. But I feel like I'm going to be thinking about it a lot more, because it like impacted me in a different way than Sinners did. Like Sinners is an amazing movie that like I think is more appealing to everybody, whereas 28 Years Later is still a beautiful movie that everybody can enjoy, but it's also this like crazy art piece that's like, I don't know. It's just, it's so hard to even explain, but it's just, it's so good and beautiful. And like, I mean, again, I've said it a million times. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. People got to go see this movie.
But we'll weigh in on, we'll see what Worth It or Woke has to say about this movie, Carson.
What do they say?
28 years, 1 breakneck 90-degree tonal shift, and 2 competing scripts later, 28 Years Later ends with a, what did I just watch? They gave it a 71 out of 100. They gave the story and plot a 58%, the visual cinematography a 90%.
Okay.
The performance an 85%, the direction 65%, and they gave it a woke-ish, 40% woke, 60% based.
And what about it was woke? Are you logged in?
Let's see.
Because I gotta know.
I guess I am.
Woke.
Oh, wait. Actually, no, wait, hold on. Wait.
Once Gavin gets logged in. Yeah, I mean, everybody who I've seen is also giving this, or it also is giving this a 10 out of 10. But of course, this idiot gives it a C minus because he's got his head up his ass. I would like to see, while Gavin looks for that, I'm going to search up if he's done any of the other 28 movies. I'm going to call them. Oh, I also wanted to say that I think this is my favorite. Might be my new favorite.
This guy's fucking insufferable. Oh man, there's so many. Oh God, there's so many. Daddy issues. The capable, loving, and strong father turns out to be having an affair while his wife of many years is dying of cancer in her bed. You know, like a scumbag. So from that moment on, the boy in the movie no longer needs his father.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Why is that
That's
woke? What is woke about that?
Because you're portraying a man not in a masculine position. You're showing the bad parts of man.
But that's of the father, I guess. But like I don't.
God,
that wasn't like demasculating.
Oh,
he was just
wait,
like having an affair.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
Oh boy.
It gives you wings. Before you go and see this movie, ask yourself, do I want or need to see 20-ounce Red Bull can-sized undead donkey doinks helicoptering as 7-foot-tall, toxically masculine alpha zombies run down women and children? Because none of that is hyperbole, and if you don't want to see it, you better watch a different movie. There's a lot of it in 28 years later. The male form has been turned into a Hollywood plaything meant only to be exploited or ridiculed, sometimes both.
They never...
Yeah.
What is that? What? That's the opposite of being woke, showing a guy with a massive cock. Like, what is woke about that? And spoiler alert, by the way, on that. I won't go any further on that, but
alpha males.
I wanted to just say, sorry, real quick. This movie, usually I hate like too much lore. This movie has like different kinds of zombies, and it perfectly explains it. Because one character's like, why are these zombies like this? And literally the guy goes, I don't know. And then it never gets explained. And I'm like, thank God. I don't need when 13 years ago this happened and these zombies evolved. I don't need that shit. I like that there's these weird, spoiler alert, there's these zombies that are really, really fat. They're huge. And they crawl around eating worms. And they're like, yeah. They're quiet. They're like quiet, fat. He's fat. And there's one at the beginning. There's like a fat kid one. I loved it. It's so good. Sorry, go on. I just had to say that.
I guess the reason is because it doesn't blur it, because I guess in conservative media it's frowned upon to show like naked breasts, vaginas, penises, whatever.
But that's woke. Fuck you, idiot.
The title is Alpha Males. Yup, the main zombie villains are called alphas. Like alpha males. Something about the infection raises their testosterone levels even higher than that of other zombies, making them larger, stronger, and more aggressive. Each one of these muscle-bound monsters controls its own pack of lesser zombies, many and more of whom seem to be female. It's impossible not to see this as a social commentary about masculinity writ large. Perhaps if filmmakers didn't go out of their way to blur or hide the nudity of the smaller and weaker zombies while tattooing these monsters on the audience's brains, it wouldn't seem so.
Dude.
Don't worry, it gets worse. There's more.
It keeps going? Are you kidding me?
There's two more woke elements. Transcendent femininity. While the gigantic and mindlessly aggressive male zombies wreak havoc, the film's mother and son duo stumble upon a pregnant zombie in the midst of giving birth. Spoiler. Remember, in these movies, they aren't undead, just mindless rage monsters. Spoiler, inextricably called to her via an implied spiritual bond of womanhood, the mother approaches, and the zombie snaps at her before doubling over amidst a contraction. So the mother holds up her hands, palms facing the laboring mombi, and the two connect on a level which only those who have shared childbirth can ascend. The mombi gives birth and dies. The baby is fine, and the storyline goes nowhere. Men bad, women magical.
It's, first of all, fucking idiot. In case you were too dumb to understand how movies can set up other movies, there is a sequel to this, a part 2 coming out in January. That's where the story is going, you dumb fuck. It went nowhere. The movie just ended on a cliffhanger. I've never seen this before. This guy's like so movie nerd, but then he's like has never seen a movie before.
Oh, just wait. One more. This is the last one. Work It Girl. In the film's closing minutes, a man appears wearing a tiara and multiple jewel-encrusted effeminate rings.
Spoiler
There's
alert.
no reason given, and his character isn't developed in any way, so I didn't mark down the wokometer nearly as much as I would have if he were clearly trans.
What? Trant? He's not. What are you talking about? You don't know anything. You see this guy on screen. His screen time is less than a minute. The guy he's talking about. You see him on screen for less than a minute. And he's already like, he might be trans. No, he's not. But who gives a fuck if he is? Because guess what? We're in a fantasy world where there's a zombie outbreak in England, and it's been 28 years, and they haven't figured it out or escaped anybody off of the island. Like, get your head is so far up in your ass. You need to go take a bath, my friend. And like, this guy's like reviewing 20,000 movies every week, but yet he has no idea that they're setting up for a sequel.
Movies can also just do things without explanation too.
And that's what I love. That's why I loved it. And again, listen, all jokes aside, which these weren't jokes, all truth aside, I can totally understand this. Like, I don't think this movie will be for everybody because I think the style will be a little too jarring and confusing, and that's fine. Not every movie needs to be for everybody. But the fact that you think it's woke because there was a motherly connection. It's so weird because everything he's saying, I'm like, aren't you guys like obsessed with alphas? Aren't you guys like obsessed with trads? Like, traditional families, like a motherly instinct kicked in, and you're saying that's woke? What do you want? You want a shirtless guy like and women falling for him, and you just want that to be every movie?
Evidently, yeah.
What an idiot.
And like there can't be any bad men. It's gotta be bad women.
Yeah. I can't wait until this guy finds our podcast, because I honestly, hit us up. We'll have you on the show, and I will fucking absolutely
I
wreck
do want
you.
to pick his brain. I do want to pick his brain.
I
do want to pick his brain in terms of like his reviews, because it's like he also I feel like he doesn't use ChatGPT. He just uses very like fragrant language that I don't know. You just wouldn't see from someone who like is trying to make a movie review. You just kind of write what comes to mind. You don't have to use these really big words to sound smarter about the movie, man.
Well, he's probably an English major or whatever, and who knows, probably has a fucking horrible shitty job, and he hates his life, and he has to go cry about movies online and hope that people will listen to him. And the only people listening to it is us.
He never reviewed Friendship.
It's probably not even on his radar. He probably lives in like fucking buttfuck nowhere, Wyoming. And no offense to people in Wyoming. I also wanted a real quick tidbit that I forgot to tell you last night after the movie is when I walked in, there was I'm assuming a patron coming to see the movie and a theater employee behind me, and I heard him say something, and then the theater employee was like, okay, like, I'll go see what's going on. And I was like, I don't know what that's about. Walk into the movie, get in my seat, and I look down towards the front, and there's a theater employee talking to this man. I don't know how old the person was. And like, she's being very polite, like, you know, kind of gets down next to him and is talking to him. And then all I hear is like this, like, no. And then like, she like kind of stood up and like walked out. I was like, what the fuck was that about? And everybody around's like confused what's going on. And then I see that guy pull up his phone and does this. Like after she left, like he waits a beat, pulls up his phone and he's like doing this on the screen. She walks immediately back in as soon as he does that. He puts his phone down, and it's the same, like she's talking to him, and you hear, I'm not, no. And then she walks out, and he does it again. It happens like 3 times. So I guess he was like trying to pirate the movie, because the last time she came and he was like, I won't, I'm fine. So I don't know. It was very strange. I was
like, especially in the front, like that's not prime.
Yeah. I was like, why don't? And then this whole time I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to see this movie, am I? Like this is gonna cause a whole fucking commotion right now, isn't it? Oh, I also got this poster. I wanted to show it. It was like a special screening of it.
Of course it was.
Poster.
Yep. Of course it was.
Pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
Pretty cool. I think they were doing these screenings all over, though. I think you could have. If you wanted to go get one, you could have. But yeah, please go see this movie. Just trust me.
Without even watching any of the other ones, you can watch this one.
Oh yeah. Big time. Okay. I mean, watch 28. At least watch 28 Days Later because it's again like
really good.
I would say 28 Years Later is like a 4.8, and 28 Days Later is a 4. It's a 5 for sure. It's like so close behind it. I just can't quite give it the edge, personally. Oh, and a quick confession, Gavin. I started a letterbox.
Okay, good. I was going to tell you after this. I'm surprised you haven't.
I finally did it. I said I would never. I'm sure there's an episode way back where I said I would never do it because I have no interest in that. Things have changed, and I now have a letterboxd. Who knows how often I'll use it because I've only used it once, and that was to give 28 Days Later a 5 out of 5. And I haven't used it since, but I should because I enjoyed it. I did put my favorite movies up. But anyways, though, enough movie talk. Let's do our final segment of the day, which is What You Listening To, where Gavin and I recommend a song, album, or artist to each other and to the audience of what we've been listening to in the past week. Gavin, what have you been listening to?
So during this week, me and my mom went to a lot of thrift stores, and we went up to like North Minneapolis, which had like a Savers, which I hadn't been to a Savers in goddamn like
same
8 years, man, and it was really cool. Mainly just because it was exactly the same as it was.
Yeah, love Savers.
And so anyway, on the way up there, I was just like, because on the way up to Minneapolis, me and my mom and my dad were listening to music that like all three of us can like demonstrably agree with.
Sure.
And then whenever it was me and my mom, we were listening to, and this is what I'm recommending this week, is Paul's Boutique by the Beastie Boys. Nice. And I just wanted to say that the Beastie Boys legitimately knocked it out of the park with making it feel like you're living in New York City in the 90s.
Yeah.
And like, even while I was driving around, I mean, maybe that's also just like Minneapolis just has that feel to it. It's just kind of stuck in the 90s. But yeah, it was just really, it was the perfect music to be playing. The windows were down, you know, we were just driving down the same street, just literally going straight down the street, just fucking vibing. It was nice.
Yeah. Just vibes.
I had listened to those songs in a long time. And yeah, it was a really good time. We went to DQ, and the DQs they don't have, some of the old ones around here don't have drive-throughs, and it's got like the old neon signs.
Oh, that's cool.
Like
you gotta send me a picture of that.
Oh yeah, I'll be going to one very shortly. Like I was this close to going before, but yeah, there's a lot of really neat movie theaters up here too. Like if you ever came up here, there's some like, and I could actually probably go see some pretty good art house movies.
Yeah, that's
there's
awesome.
Like 2 or 3. There's like over in Edina, there's one, and then there's one in North Minneapolis that we were driving by literally right next to the Dairy Queen. So
nice,
pretty cool. I'm very excited to see what the future holds here. So
well, I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait for you to get out and explore, and hopefully one day I'll make the trek up north and go check that out with you. That sounds cool. This week, Gavin, I am listening to La Dispute's new singles, which are onto like kind of like compilation single things, like where it's like one of them's called 1 and the other one's called 2, and 1 has 3 songs on it and 2 just has 1 song because I think it just came out this week. And so the songs are I Shave My Head, Man with Hands and Ankles Bound, Auto Fiction Detail. Their songs titles are crazy. An Environmental Catastrophe Film. La Dispute was a band I really hyped up a while ago because I love their I think it was I don't think it was 2018. It's saying 2018. I don't know. Whatever year it came out, their album, Somewhere at the Bottom of the River, between Vega and Altair. Again, their names and titles are crazy bonkers long.
I will say I have listened to La Dispute a couple of times, and like I like them.
So what I'll say is I love that album. I was excited to dive into more of their stuff, and I just can never connect with any of the albums as a whole. I would find a song that I liked, but never enough. Like that whole album is bangers front to back. It's no skips for me. But I couldn't connect with any of their music, so I kind of like drifted away from it and never, like, they released something like I think last year, and I gave that a listen, and I was like, not for me. It's not bad, it's just not for me. And so these singles weren't really on my radar. And yesterday or 2 days ago, I just put them on because it like popped up in my new releases. I was like, let me check this out. And I don't know what happened, if it's me or what, but these songs are really fucking good. Very, very good. Not like in the sense that they went back to what they were doing before, although it does feel a little reminiscent, like it's a little bit heavier. He gets a little louder than he usually does. And that's really cool, but it's almost like, and I know we're not supposed to talk about this band right now, but it's very reminiscent of like Radiohead, especially like OK Computer era. But then also adding like way louder vocals where he's like yelling, and it's really good. I think you would enjoy it, Gavin. They're cool, especially that Environmental Catastrophe Film song is really cool. There's like a little breakdown in Man with Hands and Ankles Bound. It's cool. It's cool stuff. I'm super into it, and I think they're releasing an album soon. I think.
I would say that's like what, 5 singles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's 4.
Oh, you just mentioned. I guess you mentioned a few.
Oh, I mentioned 4, but it sounded like I was mentioning like 8 because the songs are so long.
Yeah.
But it's great, man. It's really cool, and I'm excited that I'm back on the La Dispute train. Let's get out of here, Gavin. I got a pizza waiting outside my door that hopefully will still be there. It's only been like 5 minutes, but.
Well, everybody, thanks for listening to Takes All Kinds Podcast, episode 221. Keep watching, keep listening, keep doing it as whatever you do our videos. You'll be here watching us. You'll be watching here watching us. Carson.
See you guys later. Love you.
Bye.
Hey, Coca-Cola, drop dead, you assholes.